Everyone, my name is Meghan Copenhaver. I work here at VHCC, and I'm lucky to be working as part of our Career Services Resource Center. So thank you so much for tuning into this webinar today. I hope some of this information can be helpful and useful for you. Today, we're really going to be talking about changing careers in a post-COVID world. So I know that right now, the job outlook for a lot of you all is kind of scary. We've been experiencing a lot of job layoffs here in Southwest Virginia. And so I think a lot of people right now, maybe not by choice, are kind of being forced to change careers and think about what else that they might want to do or need to do. So we really wanted to kind of just address that kind of anxiety and that concern and just kind of give you some great tips and kind of some practical things that you can do if you do find yourself in a situation that you are changing careers. And maybe for some of you, this is just kind of, something that you've been thinking about that you've wanted to do for a while, and you kind of feel like you want to take the next step forward in changing careers. So this is for you all. And thanks so much for tuning in. We will just kind of jump right in. So I really want to just start with kind of a note of encouragement here. I know, especially for those of you who have been facing kind of job insecurity or layoffs, that can be such a scary, kind of anxious thing to not really know what your career outlook is going to look like, especially if you've been in the same career for years and you never really pictured yourself changing careers. That can be super scary. But I just kind of want to give this piece of encouragement. Let's turn our obstacles into opportunities. I think, as scary as the unknown can be, sometimes this can end up being kind of a great thing, and you can end up enjoying your new career or a career that you find that you didn't know about more than what you were even doing. And VHCC, our Career Services Center, we're really here to help with this process. But my hope for you is that really this can kind of turn into an opportunity, even if it did start as an obstacle for you. And we're going to help you do that along the way. So I guess my first kind of practical piece of advice for someone who is thinking about changing careers is really to assess your interests, your values, and your skills. This might seem like, if you're kind of right now scrambling to find a new career, this might seem like something that you don't have time for, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's worth the time to really sit down and think about this. And this can be things, either in your personal life or in the career that you've had so far. But I would really take the time to kind of think these things through, really kind of dive deep, write some things down. Because, the goal is, if you are going to be switching careers, you want to be changing to something that you're going to love. And the best way to do that is just to figure out what you're good at and what you enjoy doing. So these are just kind of some prompts that you can think about as you're kind of thinking through these things in your head. What is it that you are good at? In your previous job, what was your best skill? What was your most marketable skill? What were you the best at? What was easiest for you? What did you enjoy doing? Usually research shows that what you're good at is also what you enjoy doing, because of course we all, we like to be good at things, and we enjoy something if it comes more easy to us or more naturally. I think this is kind of a fun one. If you could pick your dream career, what would that look like? Of course, if your dream career is a NASA astronaut, maybe that's not going to be your next step, but you could even kind of break down that dream career. Well, what is it about that career that is so appealing to me? What makes me want to do that? I think that can be really valuable. If you're looking at these questions and you're kind of thinking, honestly, I have no idea where to start. I'm not sure what I like doing. I'm not sure what I'm good at. Our office can help with that. We have kind of a toolbox of some pretty neat assessments that will really kind of break down what you're good at and what you enjoy doing, and it will kind of give some career suggestions based on that combination. And a lot of those suggestions are things that you might not have even heard of before. That's kind of the neat thing about once you do start diving into different careers. There's just, there's so many new careers that are emerging every day. And there are going to be some things that you've probably never heard of that you're not really even sure what they do. And it's kind of a neat exploration process to figure that out. And, one of these careers that you might not have even known existed could be a really great fit for you. So take the time to really, really kind of be introspective and think about these things. And if you need help, contact us in Career Services and we can set you up with some of those assessments that can kind of be that first step of helping you guide you through this thought process. I think one thing that can be kind of helpful too, if you think, I'm not really sure what I'm good at, I don't really know, ask, the people who are really close to you, ask your close friends and your family. Those people who know you really well, who have known you for a long time, can often provide so much great insight about yourself that maybe you don't even, you're not even aware of. They can say, you're really good at this, and you might be thinking, oh, well, I thought everybody could do that. So I think that can be a really neat tool for kind of figuring out, what am I great at? What do I enjoy doing? And like I said, I think writing some of this stuff down can be really helpful. Keep a list of some of your skills that you think you're really strong in. Keep a list of some of your interests that you really enjoy doing. And then as you are browsing for jobs, you kind of have that as a reference point. Is this going to be a good fit for me? So this is a career coach, a quote from a career coach just about changing careers. I thought it was really good advice. It says, when it comes to someone considering a career change, the first thing the person should do is think about his or her day-to-day responsibilities. What comes the most easily, and what's the thing he or she enjoys the most? They aren't always the same thing, but there's often a connection between the two. So kind of like we were talking about before, even if you are going to be changing careers, there's a lot of useful information that you can glean from what you've been doing in the present. And a lot of that just kind of comes from really taking the time to be introspective and think about, okay, what was it about my job that I really enjoyed? What was it that I didn't enjoy that I don't want to do from now on? This is really kind of your opportunity as we are kind of rushing, in day-to-day life. We might not think about these things as much. This is your opportunity to really, kind of sit with this and really think about it. Keep an open mind. I think this is really important. Kind of like I mentioned before, there might be some career paths that are kind of unfamiliar to you that you've never heard before. This is a great time to not rule anything out just because you're unfamiliar with it, because it could end up being a great fit. I think some virtual career fairs and hiring events, it might be a good idea to just kind of tune into some of those, even if it's a company or a field of work that you haven't really considered before. Just kind of go with an open mind and see what you can learn. And even if it's, if you know that you are not interested in working in manufacturing, sometimes those companies will have all different types of positions open, not just manufacturing positions. So maybe by going to one of those events, you could find a really good fit for you, even if kind of, when you first hear about it, you're like, this isn't for me. Just keep that open mind. This is going to be kind of where your homework comes in. Be willing to research some unfamiliar career paths. If you stumble across something and you're not sure what it is, take the time to do some research and really figure out, okay, what does this job entail? What are their day-to-day responsibilities? VHCC has a pretty neat resource for you that can help with this. It's called Career Explorer. The link is posted right there. You can search by career, and Career Explorer will give you kind of a synopsis of the job. It will give you kind of common duties. It will even give you some labor market data and some salary information. So it's a really great tool. I would definitely encourage you to use it. It's totally free. Job shadowing is another great way to just kind of explore what's out there. Even if there's something that you're, not quite sure what the day-to-day involves, job shadowing is a great way to just really get a hands-on look at what that career would be. So it's especially if you find something that you think that sounds kind of interesting, but I kind of want to learn more. Job shadowing is a great next step at that point. And then lastly, reach out to your network. So again, this is a great way. If you know someone who kind of has a job that you think is interesting, ask if you can job shadow from them, or ask them, you know, if you can even just conduct an informational interview and learn a little bit more about what they're doing. You know, the only way that you're going to find out what you really love to do is by really kind of delving in and doing some research and some fact finding. So it can be kind of an interesting thing to do as well. This is going to be really important for those kind of job shifters who, you know, maybe were laid off and are kind of figuring out what's my next step, what am I qualified to do from here. Identifying transferable skills is going to be super helpful. So here's another quote from a career coach that I thought was really useful. It says, "It's essential to recognize that when you embark on a career change, everything you've done so far in your current role or career could be a unique selling proposition that sets you apart from more traditional applicants. Instead of seeing your job now as an irrelevant stumbling block, see it as a diverse foundation that gives you a deep well to draw from in the new role, industry, or company." So I think this is, you know, a really good point. If you have been working in a certain industry, and as you're doing some research, you find that you really kind of want to go someplace completely different, or maybe the field that you were working in has kind of gone away and you're kind of figuring out where to go from now. It's really important to see your past experience as completely relevant to your application for your new career. And that's really where the transferable skills come in. Transferable skills are going to be any skills that you acquired during your last career that you can take with you to your new career. So a lot of times these can be considered soft skills, which we know from research employers value so highly. So this is another kind of area where you're really going to want to do a self-inventory of some of the soft skills that you did use in your previous job. And I did just kind of give some examples there if you're not sure what a soft skill is. Were you working on a team? Did you have to communicate with different team members to get, you know, kind of your tasks done? Were you, you know, kind of over or in charge of anyone else? Did you demonstrate punctuality at your last job? What about problem solving? All of these soft skills that I've listed, employers care about these so much. I would almost be willing to say they would care more about you possessing these soft skills than some of the, I guess, hard skills that you can pick up and learn on the job. This is another area where you're really going to want to think of specific examples in your work history. Maybe there was a situation, oftentimes a really good example of how you can kind of step up to the plate is when there's a situation that's kind of hard or hard to overcome, or there's some kind of problem. What did you do to fix the problem? How did you rise to that challenge? In what areas did you really excel as an employee? And this is going to be something that's really going to be different for everybody. Maybe you were that person who never missed a day of work, was always 15 minutes early before your shift started, ready to go. Just really that kind of dependable backbone of the company. Maybe you were the person who was super innovative, who was always kind of coming up with new ideas, new ways to do things that were more efficient, more productive for your company. Those are really great skills that employers care about no matter what field you're going into. So come up with some specific examples, write those down too. So that way you kind of have them in your toolbox ready to go. And definitely make sure you find a way to include these skills on your resume and definitely in your job interview as well. So that's where coming up with those specific examples can be super helpful because you'll have those kind of ready to go. Most interviews are going to ask some kind of question about, it'll be, you know, worded in some way that there was a problem and how did you overcome that problem, or how would you overcome that problem? So specific examples are great for that. And these are all things that you know, it really doesn't matter if you worked in the specific field for the job that you're applying for. These transferable skills, that's kind of why they're called transferable, because you can pick those up and you can carry them to a whole new career path. So that's a really great thing to kind of think about and have ready in your toolbox. And I did just kind of want to put in another plug for the importance of soft skills. I think sometimes when people hear soft skills, I don't like that word soft because it makes it sound like, you know, they're not quite as important. And it's just not true. Employers care about these soft skills so much. I did kind of include some data here in a 2016 assessment. 93% of employers said that soft skills are either an essential or very important factor in hiring decisions. LinkedIn did a study about 5 years ago that found that almost 60% of US hiring managers believe it's difficult to find candidates with soft skills. So that kind of tells you right there, if you have those and if you are able to give really specific examples of soft skills that you have, that automatically kind of sets you above the competition. So don't feel like your resume, just because it's in a different field, is limiting you or is gonna, you know, kind of get you off of the board when it comes to hiring decisions. Because I think now in our economy more than ever, you know, people are switching careers. We have fewer and fewer every year kind of lifelong careers where you know, start in a career right after you graduate and you're there until you retire. That's less and less common. And so it's not necessarily a bad thing or, you know, a mark against you to be switching careers. So don't think of it that way. I think this can be kind of useful, finding sister and cousin careers. So what I mean by that is that these are careers that are going to be kind of in the same category as maybe the career that you have that you're looking to switch from. So if you find yourself, you know, in a situation that you really enjoyed your job and you were laid off unexpectedly, finding these sister and cousin careers can be really helpful for kind of seeing related careers that are available. ONET is a really great tool to do this. If you just visit, here's the link right here, it's onetonline.org. I have an arrow that you can see right here under the Find Occupations. You can browse career clusters. So this is going to be really helpful if you think that, you know, your strength is in kind of the similar career cluster that you've been in, and you kind of want to stay in that same industry, but you're not sure what's out there. This is a really great tool to kind of figure out what those related careers are and what those look like. Some of them might surprise you. So again, this is kind of where sometimes you can find careers that you didn't know existed. And, you know, these career clusters mean that they're pretty related. So a lot of the maybe technical skills that you've already been using can be transferred to this certain career that's part of that career cluster. So definitely visit this ONET online website. It's a great source for finding some of those related careers. And this is just kind of an example of career clusters. So this can kind of show you, say you are working in the human services field in early childhood. You can see some of the fields that are kind of related to that, maybe government and public administration, public safety and security, education and training. All of those things are kind of in that same human services career cluster. So if you know that human services is really where you excel and where you want to stay, this can be a great way to find, you know, different careers that are related to the one that you were in. So this can be pretty useful, pretty good information. One other thing that I just kind of wanted to talk about briefly is upskilling with certifications. This can be, say that you were laid off and you really feel like you need some additional certifications to kind of go into the job market. This is where kind of some of that research will come into play once you figure out what it is that you want to go into. It might require some hard skills and certifications before applying. Sometimes you can in those certifications while you're on the job with on-the-job training, but sometimes you're going to want to get those before you start with the company or before you apply. One great thing about this is if you are kind of in a situation where you've recently been laid off or you're unemployed, this can be a great time to kind of upskill and get those additional skills. This does a couple of things. Of course, it provides you with those skills and those certifications that make you more employable, but it also is a way on your resume to show, hey, I was laid off, but I wasn't just, hanging around eating bonbons. I was using that time that I was laid off to really, hone my professional skills and really kind of make myself the most employable applicant on the job market. So this can be, a great way to just show employers that you are resourceful and that you use that unemployment period really wisely. I think that just speaks volumes in itself. I think when employers see that, this candidate was laid off unexpectedly and they decided to use that time to better themselves and to make themselves a more desirable employee. I mean, that just speaks volumes in itself. I did include this link here. This is for VHCC. We have something called Workforce Development. We offer a ton of different certifications. These are all going to be pretty short term that you can browse around. You'll see these are all the different kind of categories that we have these in. So we have business certifications, languages, industry, technology. So if you do feel like you need to upskill with some certifications as you are, on the job market, those are some great ones to kind of check out. So most of those are going to be self-paced, so you can, if you're laid off, you can get those certifications done, as quickly as you're able to. And again, that's just kind of a great, resume builder and a great way to kind of insert yourself into a new career path if you do find yourself kind of completely changing careers. Being armed with kind of that hard skill certification can really just help with confidence in that interview process to know that you have had that training. If you do have any questions about anything that I went over today, I'm happy to help you. Career Services is kind of Tracy Mitchell is our director. She can also help you out. Here's my name and my contact information below. But yeah, if there's anything that maybe you need help with, or you are kind of still stuck on that first slide of, okay, what is it I'm good at? What is it I'm interested in doing? I need some help with this. Reach out to me and let me know. And I'm happy to kind of help you. VHCC, we're here for you, and we can definitely kind of hold your hand through this process. But thanks so much for tuning in today. Those were kind of the tips that I had for you today, and I hope that you found some of those useful. If we can help with anything in the future, just kind of please let us know, and we're happy to do that. Thanks so much. Have a great one.